Yeah,
to
but you said it requires God.
right. It's
No,
through
it doesn't
man to
require
breathe
God. It
the
requires a
divine
man.
nature of God in
No,
man.
no. It doesn't require a man having the nature, because then it's not a man. Then it's God. If you have the nature of God, then you're God. He didn't say that. He says a man. He didn't say God. Hiya, God bless you. What's up?
What's going on? God bless you too.
Right.
Question. So I know you stand on the stance as far as Jesus being Son of God, Messiah. Himself is not God, nor does he have like the divine nature of God. How does his sacrifice account for all sins if he doesn't have the divine nature to be sinless?
Yeah. So Jesus, I reject your atonement theory, right? Which is essentially the premise that, in order, the only person that can like atone for our sins is God himself. Like Jesus in the Old Testament, the sacrifice is never God. The sacrifice is something that's like, an animal or something like this. God is the one that consumes the offering, that takes the offering. So God himself is never the sacrifice. So Jesus died to establish the new covenant, right? He says very plainly in Matthew 24, he says that, this is the blood of the covenant, which is poured out for the forgiveness of sins, right? And it's through being grafted into that covenant that you have salvation. But Jesus didn't lie because, I lied yesterday and, you might lie tomorrow and, he died for that. That's not why Jesus died. And how do you get grafted into the covenant? Through the belief that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God, sent by God, and that he died and God raised him from the dead 3 days later. So that's why Jesus died.
Right. Oh, sorry, I gotta go on my work. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay. Yeah, so it's pinned on my page. You can go see it. So I just find it quite funny. Eve was deceived. This is why we should not listen to women. Right. So it's not like there was like female prophetesses back then. Like they didn't exist. Right. No one listened to them. Right. See, short people are always angry, so don't blame you. Hello.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm on the clock right now, so I had to go. But yeah, going back to that.
Yeah.
How does his death, as far as being sinless, account for our sins? If he didn't have the divine nature of God, like what's the difference that separates him dying on the cross and us accepting that death?
Yes, the Bible. Yes, so
versus
Paul
like a
clearly
baby dying.
teaches. Yeah, so Paul clearly teaches. He says that by the he says death came through the first Adam, and redemption came through the. Hold on, let me just see. Is it Romans chapter 8? Let me just take a look. Romans chapter 8. It says something about, by a man came. Let me just Google it. Hold on, I think it's. Let me just see. Okay. Yeah, Romans 5:18. That's where it was. I had it wrong. So Romans 5. Oh, let me just pull up Romans. My bad. Sorry. Apologies. Romans 5:18. It says, therefore, for as by one man's disobedience, the many were made sinners, so by one man's obedience, the many will be made righteous. So by man, not God. Right. So his obedience is the thing that's efficacious for our salvation. Jesus, we fell because of Adam. Adam was in the image of God, right? But when he sinned, right, we fell from that image, right? Jesus now comes in the same image that Adam was once in, but where Adam failed, right, he tried to grasp at equality with God. Jesus didn't, right? And so he was obedient and he was humble and he was obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Therefore, God exalted him, right? So, and now, we're supposed to be able to relate to this, that if we too are humble, that if we too are obedient, God will then exalt us, and we will, dwell with God in heaven. So that's the atonement theory that I hold to, that Christ died for the establishment of the new covenant, and then when we're grafted into the new covenant, we have salvation. So it does not require God, because it says man.
The only thing I find troubling to believe with that is when in Genesis, when God's talking to Adam, Eve, and the serpent, he says through their seed, they all have fallen.
It's talking about her seed.
Oh, right. Well, through her seed, all has fallen, and then he says, but through that seed, I'll be able to. I'm paraphrasing, but basically saying he'll be able to.
The serpents will.
Right. So with that,
his heel, and
since we come with that, since we descend from that, I say that DNA, that lineage, as far as all of us being fallen, the only person who could obtain that and change that is through man, because obviously it has to be through man. But he couldn't be from that same seed. He had to be born of the Spirit. So that's where the pre-existing of Jesus being eternal.
What?
I said through that same
I just reject your premise.
Okay, well,
I don't agree with your premise.
You're not even gonna let me speak. I'll let you speak your point. So I don't know the exact verse in Genesis, but if you mind pulling that up for me, of where the Father is speaking to the serpent and Adam and Eve.
Yeah, Genesis 3:15.
You mind reading that for me and tell me how you interpret that?
Yes, the prophecy of the Messiah.
Right. But
to come in the future, not already existing.
Right, but it had to be through that same breed, which is human.
Yeah.
So that's where it says through one man.
We're both in the same image, but Adam fell, and Jesus was obedient.
Right.
Right.
I understand that, but
God.
So it had to be through man.
Yeah, but you said it requires God.
Right, it's through man, the breed, the divine
man.
Nature of God in man.
No. It doesn't require a man having the nature, because then it's not a man. Then it's God. If you have the nature of God, then you're God. He didn't say that. He says a man. He didn't say God. Oh, goodness me.